Right, so on the first issue we're bringing you to you this evening, last month the name of the University of Professional Studies, UPS, changed to Nana Opoku-Ampoma University of Professional Studies, or NOOPS. Last year, the name of the University of Mines and Technology, Atakwa, was also renamed. It is now known as George Grant University of Mines and Technology. Now, there are hints the University of Ghana could be renamed. Launching the university's endowment fund, President Akufo-Addo mentioned his uncle, Joseph Wachit Dankwa, popularly known as JB Dankwa, as is the founder of Ghana's premier university, proposing the institution should be named after him. So we've been asking if the renaming of the University of Ghana will have any impact at all.
I don't think it's a good advice for him to name it that. It should just be University of Ghana, because this is the best university so far, and that will have a great effect on it. And I'm sure it can affect students, it will cause a lot of chaos, misunderstandings and all that, which can really affect education and tuitions.
Renaming the university is not necessary at all. I believe that the university over the years have been known globally, for its name and its contribution towards education, tertiary education in the country. I don't agree.
Personally, I think that it wouldn't really change the quality of education. But I also believe that it's not really necessary to change it to JB Dankwa. It's been University of Ghana all along, and so that will really not agar anything at all.
University of Ghana is the premier university of the country, so you can't name it after maybe a past president.
It's going to affect the school because the branding of the school for that time, probably from the time the school was established to now, the school is having that kind of name and it's being recognized everywhere as University of Ghana. So I don't think when we rename the school, it is going to help the quality of the school.
All right, so let's get on to Facebook now and get to read some of the comments that you have put there regarding this decision. So Roland M. Captain says MPP and renaming, SSS to SHS, JSS to JHS, CDs to Ghana CDs, UMAT to PG UMAT, yes to NEIP, Flag Savans to Jubilee, UPS to OAUPS, Tamale Stadium to Aliyu Mahama Stadium, OSA to MMT, Founders Day to Founders Day, Radio GR to Unique FM. They are now contemplating renaming UG after the CIA agent JB Dankwa sad. And there are 5 replies there. Let's get to read some of the replies. Owura Kweku says, and how many names did Mahama and Mills change? We should be truthful, small. Why? Both NDC and MPP have done the same. Roland comes back and says, I came out with the names, just prove me wrong by putting the name of the name JM has changed. And Isaiah just laughs at it, and William Mano says, hey, you do, or William Mano again comes back, says, Kumasi Sports Stadium to Babayara, Accra Sports Stadium to Robert Mensah, and it goes on and on. Kakra Solomon says, nonsense. Did he say he was going to change something? Why do you create your own perception and tag the president with it? And there are 3 replies there. And let's check out the replies. Nana Kwaji, do you read it well? Delaware says, see this empty can, and Nana Kwame, the world hears from Yusuf Mohammed says, it's always like African leaders don't know what they are supposed to do. If not, what impact does it have on the citizenry? I think African leaders should learn good things from the Western world instead. Jacob says, shocking, I can't believe this. Does it mean that President Nana Akufo-Addo has nothing to show? So the only thing he can do is to keep changing the name of institutions. Hey, God help Ghana. Ikuya Santua says, Mr. President, this one, dear, waka pass, why? Hey, Adeng, enough of the naming and renaming. Ghana must work again. But from the way you are going about this before 2020, you might rename Ghana to, interesting. King Zach says, renaming the university will not add any value to the university. We will rather devalue the university. Moreover, that wasn't part of his manifesto, so he should concentrate on fulfilling the manifesto promise and can go and build his own and name it the way he wants it. Kojo Macmillan says, this is needless, it won't put food on the table. Let's not forget it's 8 years mandate, not everlasting. That means they have to change KNUST and change UDS also. John Roxon says, speculation from where? You're generating your own speculation just because the president talked of history of the institution at the launch of the endowment fund. And you think media sucks. Livingstone says, naming ceremony must continue. He should also establish some and stop the renaming ceremony. Is that what people voted him for? And Tuga says, we don't need this but permanent employment. They talk too much. How many times does he want to change? How many times does he want to change? Then soon Ghana will change to Ghanana. All right, so moving on. Reports abound of landlords deploying statistics to evict, tactics to evict tenants who are falling out of favor. They're falling out of favor with or without court orders. Some reportedly throw out properties belonging to tenants, locking them out to resort to physical attack. But a landlady in Kumasi went to the extreme to evict a tenant. It is reported that she removed the roofing of the tenant's apartment to force them out. She has since gone into hiding. We ask, what extent will you go to evict a stubborn tenant?
If as a tenant I realize I'm not getting the privacy that I need from my landlord, I would move out from the house. And as a landlord, if I realize that the tenant is not following all the rules and regulations I stated, I also make her aware that this is what she's doing is not accepted. If she still continues doing that, I'll sack her from the house.
I can eject the person by going to rent control, or if the tenant is stubborn, I can eject the person by that same means, because some of the tenants are really troublesome. Very troublesome. So depending on the person's attitude.
I can't take the law into my hands, and for that reason I'll sue my landlord for that. And I think with the tenant, that will be for his attitude, that will be based on his attitude. Because you showing bad attitude, for instance, you come to the house, you have gorgeous with your landlady or landlord, that will cause, or you being, I think, conspiracy with your co-tenant.
All right, so let's get to Facebook because your comments are there. Mustafa Yakubu says, as the chairman of the Tenants Association of Ghana, I'm here to read people's comments and suggestions. So let your suggestions flow. There's one reply there. By Jeremiah says, ha ha ha. Then you have no problem. By Jeremiah says, 1. When the environment in the house is not friendly, sanitation challenge. When the social amenities in the house are not reliable. When there's always Iraqi war in the house. When the tenant always has suspicious visitors. When the tenant always fails to fulfill his or her obligations in the payment of rent and utility bills, when there is no agreeable formula in the calculation of increments in rent. Kinzak says, when that tenant is not obeying my laws. Sounds like you may have some really arbitrary laws there, Kinzak. I see Rimano says, when the tenant refuses to pay bills. All right. All right, so out there on Facebook, there's the MPP has been speaking. In fact, the MPP has been speaking to Joy FM, and they have indicated why it took them so long to come out with that statement condemning the attack on the Adom FM journalists. Now, here's one of the explanations we're hearing, that a funeral delayed the MPP apology for Hajia Fatih attack. That's the communications director. So we posted this on Facebook, and we've gotten quite some reactions to that. So Agbi says, please, who is this? Is she the one who said the journalist looks like Onion Seller? I'm just asking you. Okay, so we wanted to find out if the photo we have there is the Hajia Fatih. Yes, that's Hajia Fatih. So that LinkedIn comes in, that's it. But at her age, I didn't expect such a statement like that from her in public. And then Jacob Fosu says, it looks quite true that when women gain power, even dinosaurs go into hiding. Check how your SHS headmistress used to talk. Why taking this to SHS headmistresses? By Jeremiah says, laws are only common sense written on a piece of paper. How common sense are used in our daily activities are what we are worried of. Obey your own laws and give us peace. And Salif says, she should be punished. How can you assault a journalist? Al Hassan says, I have never seen Misunderstood communications director like this. King Wahab says, don't talk so more. Cousins in flight. Ufori Robert says, she looks like a monster, no human being. Oh no. Kuya says, the last time I checked, Akufo-Addo was the president of Union Sellers in Chebi. Really? Paul Gary says this. Okay. All right, so let's skip and move on.